Hello, 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 ladies and gelatins. Welcome to Monday. It is April. Oh my gosh. But also, for some reason, my headphones are just like not connecting properly, so I'm not gonna get to hear any of the nice music today, apparently. It might reconnect later. It reconnected before. I need to get like a new Bluetooth dongle. I think mine is like broken. Yeah, I know y'all can hear me, but I can't hear anything. No, dongle is every word that is just it fits so perfectly and it's so fun to say is the realest words. Like those are really the realest words that we have. I'm gonna try unplugging and plugging it back in again. Cause like every time I do that, it helps. But like right now, it was just like beeping, like I'm too far away. I'm like, I'm literally right here. I can touch you. Yeah, and then like the ladybot tries to be like, oh, I'm the speaker now. It's fun. But maybe it'll connect later. Who knows? Star-crossed dongles. You know, that sounds like a Chuck Tingle book. That sounds like a Tingler, honestly. That could be a thing. But yeah, do be like that. But yes, hello, Kira and 202 and V. It is so wonderful. Yeah, it's actually right. Like, listen, I've never read any of the Tinglers, but they always make me laugh. Always funny. So, anyways, so let's get this show on the road today and see what kind of adventure we're gonna get in the next hour. Cause yeah, again, short stream because the music came back. It connected. It's probably gonna unconnect later. But right now it works. And that's what matters. It's just so random. It's just like literally completely suddenly there's music in my head. Ah, fun. What was I saying? Great, short stream because life is absolutely still just crazy. Like I'm recovering. There is a lot less overtime with work, but I haven't like emotionally recovered from that. And like now I'm dealing with a bunch of like paperwork for stuff outside of work, which is a whole thing. Gotta mention this is Scramble. Yeah. No, it's normal paperwork. It's just like a lot of it happening all at the same time. But I hate paperwork, honestly. It's like my least favorite thing in the whole world is paperwork. But like paperwork is how you do anything. But yeah, because I gotta like update my passport soon. So I gotta figure out how to do that here in this city, because in the previous city it was like way easier. But like here's the thing, like my passport is like my only form of official ID because I still don't have a residence permit. I've been waiting over a year and a half and I don't have a residence permit because the bureaucracy here is unfortunately extremely slow. Extremely slow. Yeah, I still don't have it. It's been a year and a half. They haven't even like touched my case since last May. I probably should send them more stuff. The thing is, I tried sending them a like, hey, y'all did the thing, but the problem is that like because of the situation in Ukraine, there was a special thing where it's like, you can't take us to court and you can't tell us what to do because of the war in Ukraine. And then that stopped being a thing, like, because then they finally had to supposedly respect deadlines in March. But now I'm just like, well, now I have so much other stuff going on. Like, I kind of don't want to deal with it. Because, like, if I start dealing with that, then I really will have no free time at all. Like, so now I'm, like, kind of delaying actually, like, sending them more stuff, especially because, like, I don't even know what to send them. Like, here's my updated salary. Here's, another letter saying, please do something, poke. But yeah, so anyways, so I only have one form of ID and it's my passport. And so if I want to update my passport, the problem is that they will take my passport. And yes, they will take it for 2 to 4 weeks, but that is 2 to 4 weeks with no identification. So if I do that, and then I have no identification, and then for some reason they decide to do something about my residence permit. They're like, oh, you have to come, and then they can't identify myself. That would be bad. So now I'm like, okay, well, do I just like not touch it and try to get my passport updated first and just hope that nothing happens? Or do I like do it the other way around where like I send them a paper being like, hey, do the thing, and then try to get the passport afterwards? It's like the weirdest paperwork math ever. It's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. Luckily, the passports last like a long time, so once I have it, I won't have to deal with this again. And also, like by the time I get my temporary residence permit, like the next time it's gonna be the permanent one at this rate. Like it's gonna be so stupid. I'm still afraid they're only gonna give it to me like for the 3 years from when I applied and not, 3 years from when they gave it to me. And I'll just have to go through it all over again, and I'll have a residence permit that'll last for like 3 months, maybe. At this rate, it's gonna be like that. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so anyways, let's play some Shibuya Scramble. I like Shibuya Scrambles. Oh. Confetti! Yay! Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for the confetti cannon. Yes, let us go. Oh, thank you. I am doing okay. I am stressed a lot, but I am trying really, really hard to spend more and more time on like every little bit of relaxation time I can steal. I try. And that's like, it's helpful that like I kind of finished a task at work that was like really, 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 really stressful. And so, but I can kind of stretch it just a little longer. Just a smidge, just a tiny little bit longer. So it's okay. But that's fine. I'll be okay. I'm like super resilient. I'm so glad I get to hear the music. It's still working for some reason. I don't know why it started working, but I'm really glad it did. Minoru spun around to see Kimizuka standing. Where to, sir? The driver asked. Despite his polite demeanor, his pride was obvious. Mr. Kimizuka, I appreciate the thought, but with this traffic... Traffic? I see nothing of the sort. Okay, sure, but... Minorikawa was well aware of Kimizuka's capabilities, but the prospect of cutting through the chaos that currently filled the street was more than a little daunting. What is this person wearing a mask on the right? What? That's terrifying. Alright, anyways, as my brain comes back online, when you know this town as well as I do, there's nowhere you can't go. Alright, what other choice do I have? Guess I've got to trust you. This will be my last request of the day. Minorikawa pointed down the street. Bride? That's Inferno. Take us to the labyrinth. Yeah, it's Inferno. Take us to Inferno in Uraharajuku. Inferno. The bar? Kimizuka quirked an eyebrow. Yeah, something the matter? No, nothing at all. Hurry up and get in. As soon as Minorikawa and the others had climbed into the cab, Kimizuka tore off through Shibuya's network of narrow side streets. The passengers in the back seat jostled roughly back and forth to the sound of screeching tires. This is altogether far too excessive, Katayama murmured, wincing as his head bounced repeatedly against the window. To think that we allow such inconsiderate driving here in this country. Jackie, meanwhile, had opened her laptop and was still somehow furiously working to finish her copy. The sound of her fingers clacking across the keys echoed within the vehicle. How's it going, Chiaki? Minorikawa asked. Just a little more. Her eyes were glued to her monitor, her face all seriousness. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Kimizuka glanced over at Minorikawa. If I may ask, sir, what business do you have at this bar? Just a little interview. Here, a local gang called SOS uses the place as their big hangout. You're interviewing SOS? Sir, I feel like it might not be the best to get involved with that lot. There's something about the driver's warning that seemed a little off. Do your taxi driver connections tell you what SOS is up to? Minorikawa asked. Originally, they were something of a vigilante corps in the name of keeping the neighborhood clean and safe. Lately, I hear nothing but bad things about them. Those loan sharks had said something very similar. Minorikawa reminded him that he'd better be on his guard. Katayama chimed in. And just how do you plan on going and interview a gang like this? That's nothing for you to worry about. I have a plan. Oh, just what exactly is this plan? It's a secret. Katayama gave him a derisive grin. Clearly, he wasn't impressed. Hello, Roops Things. Doing all right. A lot of stress, but also game time. Minorikawa turned and looked at Chiaki. She appeared to be too engrossed in her copy to hear the conversation. I realize this is for work, Kimizuka said worriedly, but do you really need to take such risks? Yes, I do. Stress allowed. No stress during game time, guys. Minorikawa thought back to the look on Toyama's face, that look when he'd finally regained his confidence. He couldn't let Heaven Publishing go under. Toyama provided the canvas on which Minorikawa shared his art with the world. Thinking about it now, Minorikawa realized he'd always been chasing Toyama's shadow. Though it was galling to admit, that man had been the ideal Minorikawa strove to live up to. That's why he hated seeing Toyama reduced to such a pathetic state. He wanted Toyama to remain indomitable, to keep busting down any and all obstacles in his own peculiar way. Still, Minorikawa wasn't about to voice these feelings aloud. He felt more than a little embarrassed to be taking it all so personally. You take on a job, you give it 100% every time. That's what makes you professional, he said. Wouldn't you agree? I do indeed, Katayama chimed in, but you'd have to demonstrate that 100% in the limited time you have left, which, by the way, is 51 minutes and 30 seconds, and I will not budge in the slightest on that submission deadline. Please do keep that in mind. The man took another look at his watch. Got half a mind to break that thing, Minorikawa told him. Breaking my watch will not stop time. Minorikawa shot him a furious glare, but Katayama's composure was unwavering. The guy was unflappable, and the only way Minorikawa was going to be able to put him in his place was to meet his damn deadline. Easier said than done, though. He'd want to use 30 of the 51 minutes he still had to write his article. That only left him 20 or so to get the material. Kimizuka suddenly slammed on the brakes and the cab skidded to a halt. Minorikawa stared through the windshield in shock and awe and saw a smallish, boxy minivan weaving erratically along the road. Look out, the thing's heading our way. Don't worry, sir, driver replied. Just leave this to me. Keeping his cool, Kimizuka dexterously stirred them clear of the oncoming vehicle. As the minivan sped past, an eerily cold breeze wafted over the taxi. What the heck was that? Minorikawa asked. Not sure, Kimizuka said. Let's hurry on our way. Nimbly manipulating the gear stick, he stomped on the gas once more. Here we are, sir. They'd pulled up outside of a dilapidated old pool hall. You're a lifesaver. Minorikawa clapped a hand on Kimizuka's shoulder. Just be sure to be careful, sir. Minorikawa nodded. What? Chiaki asked, looking up. What are we being careful about? Nothing, Minorikawa said. You just wait here in the car. You still got that copy to finish up, yeah? Well, yes. All right, then. Chiaki frowned, but resumed her typing. You wait here, too, Minorikawa said to Katayama. But of course, that goes without saying. Incidentally, you have 49 minutes and 6 seconds remaining. Minorikawa did some quick mental math. With a half hour he'd already set aside, that left him 19 minutes. However dangerous SOS might be, he couldn't afford to hesitate for even a single second. Bracing himself, he stepped out of the taxi and headed for the pool hall. Phew. Minorikawa took a deep breath as he approached the grimy door. Here goes. He drew his leg back and gave the door a hearty kick. The mob of young men inside the bar turned as one at the sound of the door crashing open. Who the hell are you? Several of them started towards him belligerently. Just calm down and hear me out, he said. I've come to interview you. Interview us? What the hell for? These were hot-headed punks, all right. They seemed to be itching for a confrontation. Norikawa felt like a punch might come flying his way at any moment. Then another voice called from further back. Hold up, guys. It was a young man seated in the far back corner of the bar. His air of authority marked him as the gang's leader. Must be Susumu then, Norikawa thought. When you say interview, do you mean for TV? Like a magazine? Mind telling us who you are? Name's Minorikawa. I'm a freelance journalist. I'm doing a magazine piece about young people in Shibuya. All I'm asking for you is for you guys to answer a few questions. Here's the answer to the science quiz from last time. Oh, hey, methane. This is the one from last time. Methane has been tapped as a potential new energy source to replace fossil fuels or atomic power, but there are concerns about its tendency to exacerbate the global warming process. It is extremely flammable. The methane produced by food waste has been known to cause garbage trucks to catch fire. Yes, it's just as bad for the Earth, though, so unfortunately. And I haven't really seen any progress with that, so. Is what it is. Huh. Susumu sounded less than enthused. Just 5 minutes, Minorikawa said. What do you say? Nah, I'm not in the best of moods right now. Go on, get out of here. Right, Minorikawa thought. He's gonna make things difficult. But he hadn't expected these troublemakers to just up and accept an offer to appear in print. Now was when the real battle would begin. Guess I'll just have to write my piece without your help, then. Susumu took the bait and shot him a look. Write about what, exactly? Your little warehouse raids. Warehouse raids? Susumu raised an eyebrow. What are you talking about? Really now? You're gonna tell me you don't know your boys are dealing in stolen goods? SOS doesn't steal, man. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Oh yeah? Why don't you ask those two over there? He'd spotted the two fellows he'd seen arguing earlier at the scene of the explosion. Now he pointed them out. Their faces betrayed their alarm. Susumu glared at them. Is this true? They averted their eyes and said nothing. I asked you a question. You've been stealing stuff? After a long moment of surly hesitation, both young men nodded. You idiots! Susumu marched up to the two and without warning decked them both. How dare you sully the SOS name? As the two gang members cowered, he continued to punch them repeatedly. Okay, enough with the beatdown. Minorikawa stepped up to intervene. Let's get down to business here. I won't reveal anything about the warehouse raids. In exchange, you give me my interview. How's that? Not a bad deal, I'd say. Susumu ignored him, continuing his pummeling of the pair. Whoa, hey, nobody's gonna play nice with the guy who flies off the handle and beats people, you know. What did you just say? Look at yourself. You're clearly not the cream of the crop here, kid. At that, Susumu's fist finally fell still. The rowdy bar went completely silent. Say that one more time. I dare you. I'll put your ass in the ground. The gang leader's eyes were red with rage. Minorikawa snorted, unafraid. That's the exact sort of line I'd expect from a total wuss who's all bark and no bite. Shut your damn mouth. Get the hell out of here. Oh, this is hilarious. SOS Top Dog is such a yappy little puppy. Susumu snarled like an animal. You son of a bitch. I'm gonna beat your ass. Mr. Mino, I'm all finished. An ebullient. Cheerful and full of energy. Originally, the term indicated a state of bubbling or boiling, so it's effectively a fancy way of describing someone as bubbly. Chiaki! Minorikawa looked and saw that both she and Katayama had appeared in the doorway. I finished my copy. Could you please look it over for me? She thrust her laptop over proudly. Susumu stared in bewilderment. Who the hell are you? Oh, I was under the impression you SOS folks were being interviewed. Chiaki broke off haltingly. Yeah, you're right about that. One by one, gang members started closing around her. Well, it's just, you look like you're really angry is all. Do we now? That's because we are pretty damn angry. Good grief, Katayama groaned. Yada yada. I swear, that's definitely what he's saying. It would seem that getting your interview is quite impossible. By the way, you only have another you. Shut up, Minorikawa snapped as Katayama peered at his watch. Just leave this to me. You two hurry up and get out of here. No way, Chiaki said. What? Why not? Because I want you to read my copy, Mr. Mino. She looked him right in the eye. This was no time for an editing session. He didn't have much of a choice. He'd postpone the interview to read her copy. All right, let me see your laptop. He held out his hand and started to make his way over to her. Whoa. Before he could reach her, though, the SOS punks had Chiaki and Katayama surrounded. Oh, what's this? Something important? One of the gang members reached out to grab Chiaki's computer. Knock it off, don't touch that. She struggled to resist. Leave the girl alone, you scumbags, Minorikawa barked. The young men in the bar stopped and turned. Susumu was quick to respond. Screw you, man. Who you calling scumbags here? Any guy who raises a hand to a lady is a scumbag. If you're looking for a fight, you can fight me. Just get your hands off the girl. Norikawa did his best to look unafraid as a couple dozen vicious gazes now turned back on him. Bring it on, Susumu said. Hey, someone go stand lookout out front. He snapped his fingers sharply. Get in. At the signal, Susumu's men quickly closed in on Minorikawa. It was like being caught up in a tsunami. He took a hard punch to the face and his vision went blurry. Before he could react, he was hit again, twice, thrice with punches and kicks. The moment his first assailant paused, another joined the assault. 4 blows, 5 blows, 6. Minorikawa lost count somewhere around 30. A metallic taste filled his mouth, and he could feel his consciousness fading. All the strength was being battered from his body. Couldn't even tell if he was standing on his feet or lying on his back. Finally, he felt himself crumple to the floor. Even then, the beating did not let up. As he writhed helplessly, the young men kicked him in the gut over and over. Stop it! Here, Chiaki screamed. You're gonna kill him! Eventually, Minorikawa forced himself to go limp. Finally, the kicking stopped. Oh crap, one of the thugs muttered, sounding panicky. Did we take this a little too far? Mr. Mino! Chiaki rushed over to Minorikawa's side, sobbing. Please, answer me! Held his breath and said nothing. Mr. Mino! Tears streaked down her cheeks. She shook him desperately. Don't worry, he gasped out at last. He held up a hand to stave her off. She let out a yelp of surprise, staring at his battered face. He could feel blood trickling from the corner of his mouth. He turned to his grisly visage on the gang members as he painfully rose to his feet. Sorry, I just didn't expect that. Abruptly, Minorikawa broke into peals of mocking laughter. Mr. Mino? Chiaki stared at him, aghast. Just like, honestly, it makes me want to do like the ha-ha from like Final Fantasy X. Hilamoko. He only laughed harder. It seems he took a few too many blows to the head. Poor thing. Katayama averted his gaze, unable to watch. I can't voice act this seriously because I feel like my neighbors would be very upset. He became Waluigi, exactly. Wah! Minorikawa shot an accusing finger out at the crowd. Looks like I win this round. What? Susumu blinked, dumbstruck. Don't you get it? Minorikawa said thickly around his bruised tongue. What I'm saying is, you're a bunch of idiots. Now if you'll pardon me... Oh, I get it! Minorikawa was halfway to the exit when Katayama's exclamation rang out. You were planning all along to let these guys beat you up, huh? Minorikawa jerked to a halt, his shoulders trembling. You knew they'd turn down the interview, and so by letting yourself get beat up, you'd have something to put in an article, yeah? It's a bit bogus, maybe, but I guess it's one way to get material to fill your pages. Minorikawa broke out into a cold sweat. Shut up, you idiot. Katayama continued with his oh-so-brilliant analysis. Sure pulled a fast one on this gang here. I know what sort of headline your piece should have. The twilight of Shibuya's legendary street crew, former vigilante squad, now a mere gang of common thugs. Something like that, maybe. Susumu stared daggers at Minorikawa. Go on. I dare you to write that up. Then we really will put your ass in the ground. Right. He moved to block the path to the door, clutching a broken beer bottle in one hand. You moron. Minorikawa bellowed at Katayama. I was this close to pulling it off. Ah, well, that's a shame, isn't it? Katayama replied. Minorikawa rolled his eyes. Gee, you think? Susumu slowly advanced on them, beer bottle at the ready. Incidentally, you have 40 minutes and 7 seconds left. Good luck. Minorikawa hung his head. Is everything futile at this point? Hopeless, pointless, ineffectual, not to be confused with feudal, which refers to the socio-political system of the Middle Ages involving lords and vassals and fiefdoms. Alright, cool your jets. I'd say that's quite enough. Susumu stopped and spun around. Kimizuka had entered the bar. The taxi driver stared out sternly from behind his sunglasses. All the young men in the bar fell silent. Minorikawa and his companions exchanged glances. Oh man, you? Susumu's face twisted up in awkward embarrassment. Kimizuka's tone was light and playful, but intimidating nevertheless. Whoa, hey now. That's no way to address your teacher. Yo, what? Yo, what? Okay. Yo, Kimizuka was already badass, now he like double badass. Teacher! Minorikawa blurted in disbelief. Kimizuka nodded. Yeah. Till last year I used to be a teacher. Got into a bit of a dispute with my school, so I moved on. These guys in here are all former students of mine. Sorry there's such a bunch of good-for-nothings. Wow, Jackie said. I never'd have guessed. I thought, since I wasn't their teacher anymore, it wasn't my place to butt in. I couldn't stand idly by and let one of my customers take a beating. Kimizuka turned back to Susumu. This guy totally played you. Every last one of you. Susumu bit his lip in frustration. Still, hard to imagine anyone would want to take a beating from this many guys all at once, so it's hardly your fault for falling for it. Kimizuka had switched gears from taxi driver to street-smart mentor. You guys lost this one, he said, and for that, you need to give him his interview. No way, Susumu looked disgusted. Look here, kid. Let yourself save some face and help the man out. Maybe you won't come off as a bunch of total idiots in his article. He flashed an amicable grin. When you put it that way... Fine, alright. Susumu blew out his breath in resignation. Susumu, you can't just let yourself cave like that. The remark had come from a particularly nasty-looking young fellow who slouched on the bar sofa. Norikawa recognized him, the kid he'd encountered earlier in the afternoon wandering around with a wooden cudgel. You shut up, Kiryu. So what, you just gonna let SOS make a mockery of itself? Kiryu demanded. King Leader let out an annoying growl but said nothing. You still think you've got what it takes to run Shibuya? Shut up. Already said I'll do it. Kiryu sneered sullenly at Susumu's outburst. When does our boy show up? Mr. Mino. Norikawa was just letting out a sigh of relief at being able to get his interview when Chiaki scurried back up to him. Please, can you read my copy now? Her face showed a strange mixture of confidence and unease. Well, then she can do the interview. He can read the copy. All right, he said resignedly. Let me see it. The proofing deadline was drawing steadily nearer. Still, the piece wasn't good enough. He'd have to make her rewrite it again. He wasn't going to compromise on quality. Bracing himself, Minorikawa stared at the monitor. Jackie swallowed hard, so anxious it was audible. I kind of want to get lace to put on my work laptop. It's kind of literally so cute. He gave the piece a fast once-over, read again more closely. When he was done, he closed his eyes, considering. Jackie held her breath, waiting for his response. It's okay. She looked back at him blankly for a moment. Really? It's really okay. Is it really, really okay? It really is really okay. Minorikawa watched in surprise as she broke down in tears. Oh, thank you so much. Jackie bowed profusely. He gave her an affectionate little ruffle atop her head. She wiped her face with her palms, scrubbing the tears away. So I guess I never really told you what sort of articles I want to write and all. I don't think you have. Well, I mean, I want to write socially conscious exposés like you do, Mr. Mino. And so to hear you say that an article I wrote is okay, that makes me really happy, I guess, or maybe moved. Her eyes were still bright with emotion. Well then, really. There was actually another writer who took inspiration from his work and strove to be like him. Minorikawa never thought a day like this would come. It was a peculiar feeling. He'd always been the follower, chasing after interviews in order to be more like Toyama. It made him feel both bashful and proud that the skill and soul he'd honed might be passed to the next generation. Right, I should be off. Oh no, that's Minorikawa, a slight nod. I just imagine him being like, right, I should be off. I've got to get back to my taxi job. Minorikawa returned the gesture, but more deeply. You really have been a tremendous help today. Not even sure where I'd be right now if you hadn't been there for me. Oh, no, not at all. I was just driving a customer around to where he asked me to go. Well, that's right. I still owe you a fare. Putting his wallet at Minorikawa's side, only a 10,000 yen bill. Still, now was no time to be frugal. Keep the change, he said as he handed it over. But even he said it, Kimizuka was already handing the money back. Here, I insist. The driver had already counted out the exact change in advance. Really are a pro, huh? Minorikawa took the money and stuffed it into his pocket. We'll meet again, somewhere out there on the streets of Shibuya. Kimizuka pointed his index finger at Minorikawa's face. Minorikawa responded in kind. After that, the interview with SOS went off without a hitch. Now that the tension was diffused, these were just a bunch of ordinary young guys. The juxtaposition of their appearance and their behavior would make for an interesting piece. So, about what you said earlier, Susumu said once Minorikawa had finished his questioning. About how I'm not the cream of the crop. Yeah, that. I just said it to get you worked up. Don't worry about it. Well, let me just ask you what you really think then. How do you think I could be a better leader? I don't know. Not really the sort of the guy who wants to stand at the top, but I guess I could tell you two things that'll make things go more smoothly with you and your buddies. Susumu leaned in intently. Forgiveness, and also trust. Minorikawa chewed over his own words. The events of the day replayed in the back of his mind. He'd forgiven Toyama for his faked suicide and trusted he'd regain his reporter's edge. He'd forgiven Chiaki for her bungled interviews and trusted she'd grow as a journalist. In the end, that's what it was that had helped him through. Forgiveness followed by trust. Susumu grumbled softly. Forgiveness and trust, huh? Doesn't sound so easy. People gravitate towards someone who can handle things when they get tough. With that, Minorikawa got to his feet. Now we've got all the articles we need covered. Chiaki rushed over to his side. Guess we still need Mr. Toyama's piece. I just got off the phone with my office, Karayama said casually. Seems they've already received the data from him. Whoa, what? Because he really can get the job done when he applies himself. Minorikawa felt an inner surge of pride. Now then, he indicated Karayama. How much time do we have left? 30 minutes remaining, Karayama replied, eyeing his watch. 30 minutes, huh? Looks like we might make it after all. Chiaki, laptop. Great! With a beaming grin, Chiaki held out her computer. Minori got ready to start typing, but then a young man barged into the bar. It's Achi Endo! Whee! Time to be Achi. It's our boy! It is he! The door opened and the other lookout returned. Susumu says to come on in. Achi nodded and strode inside. Activate Achi. The scent of alcohol and cigarettes washed over him. Susumu sat on the sofa at the far end of the bar. It was where Achi used to sit back in the day. What do you want? Susumu asked immediately. Achi walked up to him and got down on his hand and knees. Huh? What are you doing down there? The hell is all this about? I need people to bring a guy down. I'm here to ask for your help. The crowd around him flew into an uproar. Peals of mocking laughter rang in Achi's ears. I know I have no right to ask you this. Please, I really need your help. Just some guy, huh? Who? He's an international terrorist trying to get his hands on some wonder drug for a killer virus. If we don't catch him, somebody I know is going to die. And that's not all. He might try to unleash the killer virus here in the city. Susumu burst out laughing. This is some kind of joke? You all right in the head there, Achi? Other gang members followed his lead, unleashing another storm of mockery. The laughter continued for quite some time. Achi said nothing. He grit his teeth and stared up at Susumu. He endured the ridicule and simply stared up at Susumu. As patiently as he could, he waited for Susumu to give the proverbial nod. Finally, the laughter subsided and Susumu crouched down and got in Achi's face. Is that how you go about asking someone a favor? Susumu growled menacingly. If you have a problem with me kowtowing you like this, I can apologize some other way, all you want. But don't you care that I just told you Shibuya's in danger? Achi's voice was unwavering. Face it, Susumu. Isn't Shibuya the reason everyone here hangs out with each other? If you're telling me you don't want to keep our towns safe, I won't ask you guys for anything again. I withdraw my request. The two glared into each other's eyes. Then, before Susumu could reply, an odd man stepped in between them. Sounds like you've got an interesting story, he said. Mind letting me hear it too? You again? Didn't you already get your interview? Susumu rolled his eyes. I think Grovels here might be telling the truth. Newcomer's face was all seriousness. Lines up with the information I have. Hey, Grovels, you got a second? My name's not Grovels. Achi growled. It's Achi. Minoru Minoikawa, magazine reporter. I know a bit about the stuff you were saying just now. Killer virus you're mentioning is called the UA virus. Wonder drugs and antiviral medication. And the person you know who might die is Maria Osawa. Am I right? Achi was almost too shocked for words. How do you know all that? Minoru ignored him and turned to the SOS leader. Susumu, something really is going down in Shibuya. What are you gonna do about it, boss? Susumu bit his lip. He looks pretty conflicted. Sounds good to me, someone called out. Let's give him a hand. Achi turned to see where the voice had come from. It was Kiryu. You shut up, Susumu said with a glare. Break out of your rut, old man, Kiryu sneered. Achi here is right. Isn't keeping our beloved Shibuya safe what SOS does? He slipped an arm around Achi's shoulders. You okay with that, right, Achi? Me going against Susumu's orders to help you out? Kiryu's lips pulled back in a broad, unsettling grin. First, we have unfinished business, you and I. I mean, I'm willing to lend a hand even though you ditched the gang and all. First, we gotta settle our score, here and now. You understand, don't you? No, you're right, Kiryu grinned hungrily. It's guillotine time! A bunch of gang members started up in an eager clamor at Kiryu's pronouncement. In a matter of moments, Achi was grabbed from all sides and hoisted up onto a pool table. The young man held down his arms and legs, positioning him so his head jutted out past the table's edge. Kiryu brought out a steel pipe nearly a meter long. Oh my god, it was caked liberally with dried blood. Guillotine! 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 What? The men of Kiryu's faction pumped their fists in the air, chanting madly. Kiryu licked his lips as if drunk off their cheers. Glancing to one side, Achi saw Minorikawa speaking emphatically to Susumu. Like the reporter was trying to talk some sense into the SOS leader. Yeah, that's... And today is my lucky day. I get to take the head of SOS's original head. Right? Oh my gosh. Achi twisted his neck to peer up at him. Man, what point in there is taking my head right now? Oh my. You don't get it, do you? See, if I send you to the hospital, everyone in Shibuya is gonna know my name, and once I've got that big-ass sign over my head, I'll be able to unite this town under my banner in one fell swoop. Kiryu's eyes were crazed and bloodshot. Then that's all the more reason for you to do as I'm asking. If you want to reunite Shibuya, you have to protect it first. If you think you need to take my head to do it, go right ahead. Even if these guys were all like Kiryu, if this many of them actually showed up at the Scramble, they'd be able to do far more than Achi could hope to by himself. Achi's kind of dumb because like they don't know anything other than the fact that there's a bad guy. They wouldn't know where, or like they know nothing. Ultimate goal was to capture Alphard. Achi didn't care how they made that happen. He was just sorry he wouldn't get to see it though. Protected Tomi to the very end. Okay then, Kiryu braid, the gloves are coming off. Go on, do it. Achi braced himself. Is gonna just do it. Just make sure you keep your promise. Kiryu raised the steel pipe high above his head. Then just before he brought it down, he flicked the tip of his tongue from his mouth like a snake. You dumbass, I didn't promise you nothing. Achi strained in sudden panic, and his limbs were pinned down too forcefully for any hope of avoiding what was to come. But the steel pipe never struck home. Just when it was about to smash into Achi's head, Susumu grabbed hold of it. The hell are you doing? Enough of this crap, Kiryu. Susumu yanked the pipe from Kiryu's grasp and tossed it to the floor. Kiryu stood and frozen in surprise. A vein pulsed angrily in his forehead. You guys too, Susumu added, glaring at the others. Let him go. Stuffs holding Achi down cautiously took their hands away. Kiryu let out a red-faced cry of rage. But we got unfinished business! Ignoring him, Susumu helped Achi slide off the table. Every man gets to make one request in his life that cannot be denied. Do you remember saying that? The words stirred up some bitter memories within Achi. Yeah, I remember. You didn't grant me my request. No, I guess not. That's why I'm going to heed yours. No questions asked. Susumu held out his right hand. Susumu, that'll make me the better man. Finally. She reached out and clasped Susumu's hand in his. Yeah, Achi said, letting his relief show on his face. You're quite the guy. Susumu cracked a tiny grin. It was the sort of smile Achi had seen all the time back when he run with SOS. Suddenly, Susumu staggered and dropped to the floor, falling too fast to even cry out. Yeah, I don't know why you didn't see that coming. Kiryu had snatched the steel pipe back from the floor, striking Susumu from behind once his back was turned. To hell with this, he howled like a madman. SOS doesn't belong to you guys, not anymore. I won't allow it. Achi didn't flinch. SOS doesn't belong to anyone, he said. It's not mine, it's not Susumu's, and it isn't yours. We're just a bunch of friends, hanging out and having a good time. That's the only reason we got together. Nothing more, nothing less. He turned and looked around slowly at the room. Hey, you guys. Do you all get together because someone told you to assemble? Do you get together to follow someone's orders? No, you don't. Of course you don't. The bar fell silent. Achi could see the young man who surrounded him exchanging glances. They could tell his words rang true. Kiryu saw it too. It only made him even more and more agitated. Shut up, enough with the warm fuzzies. Abruptly, he charged forward, giving the steel pipe a mighty swing. Achi managed to dodge the attack by a mere hair. If it had connected, the blow might have well knocked his head clean off. He quickly backed away. What's the matter, Kiryu-tun? How come all you do is run? The pipe crashed down on the bar top. Bottles of beer and liquor smashed and scattered. Come on, what's the matter, Achi? Kiryu slammed his weapon into the pool table, sending balls scattering across the floor. Some of them collided with Susumu. Susumu let out a faint groan. Smirking at the sound, Kiryu stalked towards him. Speaking of unfinished business, with a gleaming grin, Kiryu took aim at Susumu's head, lifting the pipe up high. Stop! Before he could think better of it, Achi was rushing for his fallen friend. Heh, dumbass. Without missing a beat, Kiryu shifted his weight and swung the steel pipe at Achi's temple. Achi responded with a fast high kick with his right leg. Steel pipe connected hard with the shin, but it was Kiryu who went reeling off balance. Yeah! Achi pivoted and put all his might into a straight right into Kiryu's jaw. Hell yeah! The blow struck home. Kiryu's head snapped back and he crumpled to the floor. There was a momentary hush of indrawn breath. And the bar erupted into a wild clamor that practically shook the whole building. All eyes were fixed on Achi, marveling at what they just seen go down. Hey. Sounds like folks were hoping for a little more of a fight. Susumu got to his feet, his left hand clutching his right shoulder. You alright? Achi asked. Mostly. Guess my shoulder took the brunt of the blow. Gang members from Kiryu's faction rushed to the floor to the unconscious leader's side. Achi shot them a steely glare, and they gathered up Kiryu and dragged him out of the bar. Didn't go too far here, did I? Achi asked for Susumu. Is this gonna cause trouble for you? Nah, I figured Kiryu would pull something like this eventually. Just a question of when. Right. Sure he's gonna gather up his own bunch after this. We'll probably wind up butting heads again. Susumu didn't sound especially eager for that fight. He didn't sound especially afraid of it either. Achi was still worried about a few things, but his friend had clearly grown as a leader. Anyhow, back to the story about you needing some manpower. Will the guys here be enough? There are around 30 gang members still in the bar. Achi looked each of them in the eye in turn. Some he knew from back in the day, while others were fresh faces. I was born and raised in this town. Fond of all the friends I've met here, and this has always been a great place to have a good time. And today, right here in this town, I met someone who's very special to me. And I know this doesn't involve the rest of you, but I'm willing to protect her. Achi knew he wasn't doing a great job of getting the point, but the members of SOS listened quietly. So it's like, felt like a grade schooler didn't know the answer to a difficult question. He fussed with his hair and frowned sheepishly. Okay, so I'm not sure how to really put this, but Shibuya is a special town to me because I'm getting to meet people like that. Maybe. No, I mean, it's like that for you too, guys. Don't you love Shibuya? So help me help this town. He bowed low and deep. I want to protect this girl who means so much to me, and the city that means so much to me as well. I know my answer. Susumu clapped a hand on Achi's shoulder. Listen up, everyone. SOS original founder is back in action. He needs our help, and I, for one, am ready to follow him into battle. What do you say? Smooth's people let out a hearty cheer. When Hachi marched back into his home, followed by 30 members of his old gang, Hitomi and Kano were obviously overjoyed to see him. Let's go to Kano now. Dang, that was so cool. That was so cool. I'm gonna have a drink. Time for some tea. I am so thoroughly engrossed with what's happening right now. But also, unfortunately, I have to. Oh, there's the bot, but also, we tried to avoid these kind of words, Kishiru. I don't know how to remove just your posts. I think maybe this? Yes. I don't know how to make the posts go away, though. And also, I gotta ban this guy. But all right. Well, that's what it is. So, tell me, don't like having to do this. Kishiru, but also, can you edit your post to remove the non PG-13 shenanigans? There's not much I could do about it. Tell me I don't like having to do this, but we cannot wait any longer. Seeing the look of determination on Kano's face, she gave a tiny, reluctant nod. Her shoulders began to tremble. PG-13's been the rules. It's the rules. It's how it be. Tell me. I'll be alright. I'm just a little nervous, that's all. It doesn't matter. It's an inappropriate medical term. She had a right to be nervous. Alfart was after the antiviral that she had in her blood steam. Blood steam. I think there needs to just, like, the only problem is it's still on the thing. So if you just, like, keep messaging enough that it, like, comes off the screen, that would be great. Just, like, say a couple more words. Just in a couple posts in a row. Just, like, beep, 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 beep. Just, like, teehee, blood steam. Look, instead of stream, it is steam. There's steam in his blood. Great. Amazing. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, once he had it, Tomi would become a liability that he'd want to dispose of. I'm making progress. One step at a time. Oh, so we got there in PG-13. Good. Good. This tea is delicious. I want more. Once he had it, Tomi would become a liability he'd want to dispose of. And right now, the only person who could keep her safe was Kano. Yes, Dingley, thank you. That's much more... Yes, this is appropriate because it's also a funny word. Oh, God. I've made it worse by bringing it up. You know what? That also would have been funny. That also would have been very funny. The whatchamacallits, the dongles. Right now, the only person, Kano. He clenched his jaw tight and tried to look confident. Please, just try to relax. I'll protect you with my life if I have to. Protecting Hitomi is my job. Hachi, you're back. Said I'd see you through the very end. See you through to the very end, didn't I? Yeah, you did. Hitomi gazed back at Hachi with grateful reassurance. Ahem. Kano cleared his throat softly, but Hachi and Hitomi continued to stare earnestly at one another. Eventually, the tough-looking young men standing behind Achi spoke up. Got 30 people, will that be enough? Yeah, Kano nodded. That'll be fine. More importantly, have you heard what we'll be doing yet? Catch the bad guy, keep Shibuya safe. Same old thing we always do. The guy flashed a grin. You got it, Kano said. Be counting on you then. 30-odd people at their disposal, they'd be able to encircle the meeting area, no problem. Preparations were all set. It's time to confront Alphard at last. All right, detective, let's do this. Gang members, assemble! Kano gave a firm nod. Nine minutes later, 6:59 p.m., Kano and the others were in position around the scramble. Each subtle tick of the second hand was a sharp prod to Kano's nerves. His whole body was stiff with tension. They could not let themselves fail. There was too much at stake. Here, now, hundreds of thousands of lives were on the line. Oh, this... Don't pin it. Don't pin it. It's gone now, so it's fine. The message is gone enough, so don't even worry about it. I also couldn't figure it out, so I guess the only way to do it would be to ban and unban, but that sounds really annoying. Oh, the codex. Great. Kind of hyper-focused on this proof. What's up? Unban the bot? No. Reteamment! Hello. With Shibuya on the lockdown, the area around the scramble had been seized by panic, and there had been multiple traffic collisions. Sidewalks were crowded with scared people, overturned cars, and abandoned motorcycles clogged the streets. I like how this is just like mostly normal traffic pictures. Shibuya on lockdown, the area around the scramble had been seized by panic, and there had been multiple traffic collisions. Sidewalks were crowded, yeah, and amidst the chaos, emergency vehicles sped by at furious speeds. Twitch bans your VPN. Oh. Aha. Okay, yeah, that... I didn't know that was a thing that could happen, but it makes sense. Unfortunately. The fired energy persona, emergency personnel, and even the police were short-handed. And the whole of Shibuya had begun to look like a war zone. The main roads had been blocked to normal traffic, and the trains weren't stopping at stations. In effect, the city was in a state of complete shutdown. Kano glanced at it again at his watch. Hi, yeah, I'm doing alright. I'm doing okie dokie. Life's a little crazy lately, and you caught me right at the end of a short stream time, but we'll probably finish this last little cutscene here. Kano glanced at his wristwatch. 6:59 p.m. and then 10 seconds. 11, 12, 13, 14. Scarcely remembered to breathe. Tomi stood in front of the statue of Hachiko. She wasn't carrying an attaché case this time, but the moment was otherwise a strange mirror of a stakeout at 10 o'clock that morning. She looked terrified. Kano couldn't blame her. The criminals weren't after some case full of money this time. This time, they were out for blood. Her blood. Kano did a slow scan of the area. Hachi was standing not too far away. Nomads. Also funny. His companions were strewn about here and there, carrying on as normal. Here in Shibuya, those guys fit right in with the crowd. They had the area around Hitomi completely surrounded. No, but dongles is the right word for it. It's called a dongle. That's the correct word. This is the terminology. It's also funny. It can be both. Yet again, Kano looked at his watch. 6:59 p.m., 35 seconds. 36, 37, 38, 39. He forced himself to take several deep breaths. He focused on the sound of his own heartbeat and exhaled until all the breath was expelled from his lungs. This is a game. It is also a visual novel, but it is a game. There are choices to be made, and you have to traverse the timelines of these interconnected people to make the story continue. This is a phenomenal game, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And it all started. Kano's cell phone rang. Got him. Daisuke, the organ trafficker who devised the kidnapping. It's him. Where is he? Kano asks. Is he close by? I've got him on camera now. He's on the other side of the intersection. Kano looked out across the scramble. There were so many people that it was hard to tell who was or wasn't suspicious. Can you describe him for me? A tall foreign guy. The one wearing the glasses. Tall foreigner. Kano's eyes drifted over to the crowd. Yeah, he looks like an Alphard. Uh-huh. There he was. And as he got closer, Kano's eyes went wide. This man was someone he'd met before. Leland Palmer, the lecturer from the English department at Hitomi and Maria's school. Is he Alphard? Palmer was walking right towards Hitomi. Hitomi didn't seem to have noticed him yet. When Kano glanced back at his wristwatch, it was 7 p.m. on the dot. He could become a Claude. Hitomi realized Palmer was approaching her. She too was too stunned to react. He walked directly up to her, the corners of his mouth curling up into a smile. Hello, Hitomi, he said in English. How are you doing? Mr. Palmer, what are you doing here? Hitomi's voice came out in an anxious squeak. Why, I'm here to take your blood, of course. This time he spoke Japanese with an easy fluency totally different from his usual manner of speech. I'm the one who injected you with the Ua virus. I'd been waiting so long for the opportunity to arise. It's been quite agonizing, spending 6 months and more pretending to be a mild-mannered English lecturer. Professor, you're Alphard, aren't you? Let's get down to business, shall we? Neither of us has much time. Tom stiffened. Please tell me the laboratory password after I have your blood. This will only take a few seconds. I've got a device here that will make the extraction quite slow. No way. Password first. That would violate the terms we already negotiated. Tommy and Palmer glared at one another. Right, Tommy said at last. Why don't you negotiate with Kanan instead? Kanan? Tommy took her cell phone out and dialed. But the phone rang repeatedly and Kanan did not pick up. What's going on? Tommy's face went pale. Come on, Kanan. Kind of standing near enough to overhear their conversation, grew increasingly anxious as he watched the pair stare at the phone. Was the right move here? Should he keep waiting? He had to hope talking to Kanan would work out. At this point, they couldn't. No, we can rely on Kanan. But also, no, we can. He had to hope talking with Kanan would work out. Kano waited for the call to go through. Kanan never answered. Something happened to her in Tateno? Kano felt his heart pounding. Now then, shall I take what I came here for? Palmer took a step closer to Tomi. Kano reacted instinctively. Freeze! He drew his gun and trained it on the criminal. Nearby pedestrians scattered in fear. Seizing the moment, Achi darted in to protect Tomi. Palmer let out a tiny sigh. So you're breaking the terms we agreed upon then. Don't negotiate with terrorists. Honestly, it's pretty reasonable in this case. Kano inched his way closer, his point of aim never wavering. Tomi, call Kanan again. Again, Tomi dialed her cell phone. Palmer opened the attaché case he was carrying. One more move and I shoot, Kano shouted. The terrorist ignored the warning, producing a set of small glass vials from within the case. If you want to shoot me, then shoot me, he said. Assuming you don't mind this getting scattered about. Is that... Surely you don't need me to explain. Stanley was right. Alphard had weaponized the virus. Doing his best to conceal his horror, Kano tried to sound defiant. Base Claude or Mythic Claude? Coming out of... Mythos. Well, here's the thing. Mythos is definitely overhyped for what it is. It's gonna be amazing when it eventually becomes kind of public, but it's definitely overhyped. Every single... Listen, like, CEOs exist to bring the hype, especially when stock markets are having some trouble right now. So... I look forward to seeing the developments, but I'll believe it when I see it. I'll try just how to find how can he even know that's real? It was entirely possible this was all a bluff. Ah, indeed. These could be all a fake. Would you care to test that theory? Palmer flashed a coy smile, holding out his fistful of vials. He began to tilt them slowly back and forth, letting them clink against each other. They were fake. No, maybe they were real. Kano couldn't quite decide. He couldn't take any rash action if there was even the possibility these were the real thing. Did you come here to carry out a suicidal attack, Mr. Alphard? Hardly. No desire to die here. All I want is to get a little of this girl's blood and then go quietly on my way. It all depends on you, doesn't it? His face was overflowing with confidence. Kano couldn't shake the feeling that something was off here. Something about this man's demeanor hinted at something. Well then, what will it be? Palmer continued. Yes, I want to suck your blood. Will you condemn the people of Shibuya to death? Cursing inwardly, Kano lowered his gun. Palmer flashed a triumphant grin and resumed his stroll towards Hitomi. She stood frozen on the spot. Susumu. The shout had come from Achi. In an instant, a dozen members of SOS headed towards Palmer from all sides. Tough luck, pal. Turns out we're not actually innocent bystanders. His turn to grin. Jack, you're completely surrounded. Give up and tell us the password now. Just for the record, we ain't scared of no virus. The toughest-looking young men radiated bravado. Without hesitation, they closed in around the kidnapper. Surrounded? You certainly don't look like this. Palmer cast a bemused glance around himself. Right about that. I mean, just take a look. Gathered up a bunch of people who love Shibuya more than their own lives in order to take you down. We all have viruses already. Thank you very much. Yes, it's exactly true. Kishida is like all the stuff. It's very marketing based, and again, it is going to be amazing. It is going to be a big like change from it, but it's not AGI. We ain't there. It's not dangerous. It's just expensive to run. He kept Hitomi shielded behind him while he spoke. There's no escape, he declared. You've lost. Lost? Me? Sure doesn't look like you're gonna get away. Palmer grimaced at Achi's words. See, then it appears our negotiations are about to close. Enough of this high and mighty act. Susumu stopped aggressively towards Palmer. Hey, kind of snapped. Easy now. Couldn't risk a scuffle, sending the virus crashing to the ground. So shame. Palmer swung his right arm up high. Oh, shit. Everyone watched in dismay as his hand shot up. The vials he'd been holding sailed upwards against the backdrop of the evening sky. Look out, Ashi shouted. Catch him! Catch him! A tremendous blast blew Kano off his feet. As he crashed to the pavement, searing pain shot through his entire body. He knew at once that a bomb had gone off. But why? Didn't make any sense. Alphard had no intention of carrying out a suicidal terror attack. Kano was certain of that. If that had been his intention, he could have just done so at any time without going through the trouble of putting on this whole charade. Is there some reason this guy would blow himself up under these circumstances at this specific moment? As he lay dying, Kano had a thought. Could it be? Had Stanley not come to the Scramble because he knew this was going to happen? Whoa! What? We're gonna get to play as Stanley! I did not see that coming. Alright, we're getting to the bad end here. We're getting to the bad end, and then we're calling it for the day because it's like literally right here. Right here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Bad end. Mysterious explosion. Surprise Stanley! Okay, everyone. Okay. Alright, we have to call it for today. We have to. But I'm looking forward to the next week. I'm really looking forward to next week. I did not expect that we were gonna get to play as Stanley at some point. That's... Listen, we lost characters, now we're gonna gain characters. This game is amazing! Honestly, I am constantly, like, blown away by all the cool, random stuff that happens in this game. Like, the story is just so good. It's so well written. Oh my god. Oh my god, okay, okay. That's phenomenal. Okay, that's the best surprise jump. I did not expect that. Yo, 100% worth the price tag. Honestly, I could recommend the hell out of this game. It goes on sale on Steam all the time for like a really, really small amount of money. Like, honestly, criminally small amount of money. Yeah. Yeah, honestly. Yeah, I heard really, really good things about 13 Sentinels. And I did buy, so we'll see. We'll see what game is going to be next. But first, we got to finish this game. There, and it's definitely going to be, you know, at minimum, we got a little more time. So probably next week. Let's go from there, make some plans. All right. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. It was lovely. Maybe we'll finish. No, we will finish soon. Yeah, exactly. It's so worth it. It's so worth it. Just to, like, play the whole thing. Yeah. I mean, it's also on just Steam. I'm not playing on PlayStation. It's also, again, it goes really cheap on Steam really frequently, so. But yeah, like, just check on SteamDB. Then you can see what its lowest price was, and, like, just wait till the next sale comes up on your wish list. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, like I said, thanks everyone for coming and hanging out, and I will see you all next week where we continue the surprise Stanley adventure. We're gonna have to do some jumps around and actually get Stanley to come back. Very interesting. Yes, I have to deal with paperwork. Soon. All right. Yep. Good night, everyone.